Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am stoked you're here. I want to take a quick second and thank all the channel members. Thank you. You guys, I appreciate you more than you know. And to welcome any of you that might be stopping by to check out the content. Thank you for checking out the content. I appreciate you guys more than you know. If you've got the chance and you're so inclined, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon to notify you when I release new content, and it'll help the channel out. So today, what I wanted to do is go through looking at my fixed blades and coming up with some drop point, slicer, hunter, small game type of winners, right? Knives that I feel that would be great in the field next to your, if you're dove hunting, if you were squirrel hunting, if you were deer hunting. And that also translates into an EDC environment. Are they going to be slicey? Are they going to have that drop point tip? That tip that you can use in that particular way, really not being Warncliffe. So starting off with number 10, and this is really not in any particular order, but the LT Wright Frontier First is an absolutely fantastic little knife. It is a drop point. This one's actually in Magna Cut. You can get them in all different tool steels. I think they're very economical to be USA made with quality materials like a micarta handle, Magna Cut blade steel. Very, very slicey. Comes from the factory, very, very slicey. Or I should say the shop. And this thing with the sheath was right at $90 in Magna Cut. So to me, that's a fantastic value, and it's a real small knife, whether you carry it in this sheath that it comes with, which is just a great little dangler. I would carry it, right on my right side if I wanted to carry it, convenient draw. And then it's just there. Should I need it to open anything? Should I need it to skin that squirrel, that rabbit, whatever the case may be, that would totally be hypothetical. But I think this is a great little drop point fixed blade, and that's the LT Wright Frontier First. Moving on, we'll come to one where its name kind of gives it away at what its quality or what it was designed for, and this is the White River Small Game. So the White River Small Game is a great little bird and trout knife that just really is up for the task. It's got more of a handle, and so you can get a full four-finger grip on this, or if you're wearing gloves, if you're out in the field, if you're having to process a deer, or if you're having to do some work with small game, or just do any series of good long cuts. This handle is very ergonomical. That means it's going to be very comfortable to hold on to for repetitious cuts. Doesn't give you any fatigue spots or hot spots that I can feel. It's very well contoured to where I think not only is the micarta a soft micarta, it is also contoured in all the right places when you look at that handle. So that bulb just really fills out your hand really well. And I think this knife for a small EDC fixie is a drop point winner, and it makes our top 10 list and comes in at number 8. I added a little White River sheath, the Kydex sheath. It also came with a leather dropper as well. The Kydex sheath was extra, but that's kind of how I like to carry them. So up to number 7, we come to probably the most economical knife in the whole setup, and this is the TwoSun TS247. This little knife is an M390. It is a fantastic little drop point, very, very slicey, very acute rolling tip. Also has a contoured micarta handle, so even though it's a 3-finger knife, not a 4-finger knife, it's still a very comfortable knife. Very, very sharp, very capable of being put to work in the field, whether you're dressing out game or whether you're opening packages and looking for a drop point application there where you can really use that belly to do some work. This knife will absolutely give it to you. Comes in at under $50. When these are in stock, I want to say they're somewhere around $46.99. You can find them at White Mountain Knives. If you go and you look for it and you see that it's out of stock, you can put your email address in there, which will notify you when these come back in stock. You can order it. If you want to save 10%, you can use Juhvon10 at checkout, Juhvon 10, and it'll save you 10% at White Mountain Knives. So moving on to number 6, we come to a knife that really could be higher in this, but this is the drop point Vox designed MKM Macro. The MKM Macro is the MKM Micro's big brother. It gives you a full, what I consider to be a four-finger comfortable grip, comfortable four-finger grip. You've got jimping on the heel of this knife, which makes it very comfortable in hand. And then you've got this jimping up at the forward spine that makes it very comfortable and stabilizes your cut. So if you're using this to, deal with any game in the field, or if you're using it for just a good drop point around the house or the office, this little knife by Jesper Voxness is just about perfect for a small knife. I say that on a lot of different areas. The materials, it's an M390 full tang construction. You've got these low profile micarta scales that kind of build out the handle, and you've got a knife that's perfectly balanced that will just simply made, feels like it was meant to be in your hand. I use an Ulti clip, keep it in my back pocket or in my left side pocket, but this is a fantastic Skinner game knife, and it is the MKM Macro 1, and it's coming in at number 6. Or number 7. I think this is number 6. Number 6 is a Topz, again, the bull trout, which its name kind of precedes what it was designed for. This is a great little big-bellied Skinner knife from Topz. USA made, has great jimping there on the spine. This one's made out of CPM 154. It's got a very, very sharp belly, rolling belly. So if you're out processing, whether it's bull trout, when you're trout fishing, or if you're cleaning rabbits or cleaning duck or cleaning even deer, I mean, this is a very able knife. You've got a lot of edge on this small little blade. You've got this really fat belly that I just love. It's a great urban EDC box shredder, package opener, weed remover, you name it. And it's also a Slurpee saver if you need it to be. It's got a very pronounced front finger choil that's part of that grip with that burlap micarta. The handle is just super comfortable. It feels like it was built out for my hand, and I'm a huge fan. So coming in here at number 6, coming in hot, is the Topz Bull Trout. Moving on, when we're talking about slicey, Skinner, minimalistic knives, I could not leave out the TDenny Apprentice, which comes in right at number 5. The Apprentice, just on its merit, is a thin, slicey little piece of Magna Cut. This happens to be acid etched. You've got this wonderful forward finger choil and this wonderful spoon on the spine where you've got this harpoon point started, which really just lock out the combination of that choil and that finger point on the blade, really lock your hand into place for this little knife. So if I was needing this in the field for a small game prep, it's going to do a wonderful job. It is absolutely slicey as it can be, which also means it's going to be up for those urban EDC tasks, whether we're opening packages, whether we're doing using it to cut things around the house. It's going to cut things around the house. It's very small. It's very light. I call it minimalistic only in its design, not in what it's capable of doing. I think this knife really outpunches its size and its weight, and it's just a fantastic little slicer. Coming in at number 5, coming in very hot, is the TDenny Little Apprentice, which brings us to number 4, which is the T.Kell Raider. The T.Kell Raider, again, is a nice big belly, fat belly knife that's really set up to process material, whether you're processing game out in the field or you're processing things around the house. It is very, very sharp. This knife has been used very hard on a lot of different materials. I've beaten it through bamboo. I've beaten it through cardboard. I've beaten it through all kinds of different paracord. And it still continues to hold its edge. It's a little thicker, beefier knife, but for an actual small game knife or EDC drop point that's going to kind of be up to every task that I put it through, I would definitely put my life on the line for the Raider. I know it would look out for it. It's an absolute Slurpee saver. It's an absolute door breacher, and it could skin a dove. It would be very easy to take care of, process any larger game with this knife. Just a fantastic drop point specimen. I carry it in my back pocket with an ulti clip. You can also carry this thing horizontally or in several different ways, depending on how you like to carry your close concealment knives. I think this is a fantastic specimen for a drop point, and I'm a big fan. And this is the T.Kell Raider coming in at number, what I say, 7. Actually, number 3, which is our 7th, which brings us to number 4. Sorry, guys, I'm confusing that on you. Which brings us to number 3. It's the Griffin Scout 2.5. The Griffin Scout 2.5 is a fantastic little knife. It's a little underestimated S35 VN slicing little machine. That was a cutter air. It is very, very slicey. It's a great little knife. Great little drop point specimen. He's got a nice belly there, a rolling belly, so to speak. It's really the whole lower side of the knife is your belly. But I think it's just a great little specimen. Fits the hand very well. You've got this jimping on the back of the heel. You've got the jimping on the blade where you'd like it to be. You've got nice scales that just give you a little bit more to help fill out your hand. And again, it's a slicey little belly rich drop point that I've been very pleased with. I love the stonewash finish. I love the fact that it goes in and out of the sheath effortlessly, and it has fantastic retention. And the Griffin 2.5 Scout is definitely a number 10 and comes in right at number 3. Which brings us to number 2, which, guys, this is the fattest, belliest little knife that I think is in the whole group, and it gives and puts the B in belly. This long, deep, rolling drop point is the Voxnez Little 1, LIL1. We've got some wicked clean wax in there. But this is an L-Max blade. It's got this forward choil, or you've got this backwards grip. The ergonomics of this knife are absolutely next level. Again, you've got 2 jimping places depending on where you're gripping the knife. If you're gripping it far back here, or if you're gripping it up in this choil, which also has jimping, gives you a super sure grip. And for dressing game out in the field, or using it for EDC, this deep bellied Little 1 is fantastic. The Little 2 is the sheep's foot variation, but when I look at this little knife, it makes me smile. It's got great belly, and I think it's just a great example of a nice drop point that's ready to get it done. That's why it came in at number 2, which leaves us to 1. There can only be one number 1, and the number 1 drop point goes, in my opinion, to the Jakeb Creates Chickadee. It is a small little knife. It is very nimble. As you can tell, I'm very fond of it. I've got one in 20 CV, one that's a full flat in S90V, and then one that's in Magna Cut, that's all of which are just awesome, awesome little knives. They fit the hand fantastically. And if I'm thinking of, I'm hunting, I'm out in the woods, I'm looking for something with minimal pack weight, minimum, footprint, the Jakeb Creates Chickadee is a little knife that really can get things done. if I'm dressing rabbit, if I'm dressing larger game, or if I'm just using it for my urban EDC everyday cutting tasks. The Chickadee for a drop point is just a perfect design. I think it's just one of those designs that's kind of, in my opinion, which is very opinionated, and this is very, very subjective. I think it's a perfect little design. So when we're looking at drop points, there are a lot of different categories out there. There are a lot of different degrees of drop points, whether there's fat belly drop points or whether they're, less, for example, less acute, like the Chickadee there is going to have much less belly than the little one, but they're both going to be up to that task, right? They're going to be up to getting it done out in the field. And any of these knives, I'm just convinced with the way that they perform around here, that would translate to the field in just a really, really good way. So if I was going to be using or leaning on any of these knives to be my hunting go-to, or my trapping go-to, so to speak. I don't think anybody traps anymore. If you do, shame on you. There's got to be a better way. I say that joking, guys. But again, these are all fantastic little drop point slicers. So if you're looking for a drop point slicer, any one of these knives that show up in this video have got Javon's seal of approval. I'm a big fan. I've kept them in my collection for a reason. It's because I really like them. They're good knives. They do a good job. Um, and really, guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope some of this gave you some information, let you look at some knives a little bit differently. And again, all this is just subjective musings from a knife addict. So I thank y'all for stopping by. I ask only that you look out for that guy or gal to the left. Please look out for the guy or gal to the right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.